Hello, you guys. I am back with some sizzling tea, bitch. Anyways, no, I'm not back with tea, you guys, but I do want to tell you what's been going on with my doctor. I know in my last video I said I was going to talk about it, and I haven't really, look at my hair, cute. Haven't really said much on it, but pretty much, you guys, I'm going to tell you the story. I have been going to this center, which is predominantly for HIV and AIDS. I am HIV negative. But the reason I go there is because they have a lot of resources for trans people. And I had a friend going there about 2.5 years ago, and she was going there to get HRT, to get her hormones and see the doctor there and, have care. So I started going there, and at the time when I started, there was a doctor there who was like a naturopath, who was very nice, very friendly lady. I think she was a lesbian. I'm not really sure. It's none of my business, but that's what I assume. Just really friendly lady. I really liked her a lot as a doctor. She ended up leaving around, God, I would have to say last year, probably last year around this time, around August. So in her place, they put another, it took them a few months actually to find another doctor, to find a replacement. And I had stopped going prior to her leaving. I probably stopped going for like a few months or whatever. So I was without hormones for a while, and they ended up finding another doctor. His name was Dr. John. Very friendly white gay man, older man, super nice, just very kind, very caring. Just one of those doctors that you feel really cares about you. And he just seemed so genuine. He was so kind. I don't know. I loved him. I only saw him 2 times, my first initial visit and then my follow-up, but I really was hoping he would be able to stay there, but for whatever reason, he ended up leaving. The funny thing is that I had an appointment a month ago, and I was not notified that Dr. John had left until literally the day before. So, to my surprise, they call me the day before. They tell me, hey, we're just wanting to let you know that Dr. John is no longer with us. We do have a nurse practitioner in his place that you can see if you'd like, who can do your follow-up appointment. And I said, okay, well, that's fine, whatever. I had already known, funny enough, like a month and a half before that he had gone, because my sister made an appointment to get her hormones regulated, and they ended up letting her know a month and a half ago, but they didn't let me know, or I'm sorry, 2.5 months ago, but they didn't let me know until the night before. So I end up saying, yeah, that's fine, give me an appointment. They end up telling me, well, can we actually move your appointment from 9 in the morning to whatever time it was, I think like 1 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever it was. So not only do they tell me that my doctor is no longer there, they also tell me that I need to move my appointment because the appointment time that I had originally planned and scheduled was no longer available. So I'm like, that's fine, kind of annoyed, whatever. I go to my appointment. Well, the next day when I go to my appointment, I'm sitting there for an hour. After I get checked in, I wait for an hour and a half, and I needed to go to work because usually the appointments are only like 15 minutes and they get to you right away. So for whatever reason, the nurse practitioner was running late, she was running behind. I needed to leave, so I rescheduled my appointment for the following week because that is all they had available. Mind you, I was already, because Dr. John had prescribed me medicine for 3 months. He had given me a 3-month prescription. So I was already out of not only my hormones, but of my SSRI, which he had given me for anxiety/depression. So I end up rescheduling my appointment. My hormones are already almost gone. I go the following week to my appointment, and I go into the room with the nurse practitioner. She is an older, I'm assuming either Hispanic or Native American, older woman, probably I would say in her 40s. And just the energy that I got from her was just not good. And I hate to say that because it sounds very judgmental, and I just did not get a good feeling from the start. She was not rude. She was very friendly until she starts telling me, well, this is kind of, I'm coming in cold turkey, so I'm going to treat you like if you were a new patient, like you've never been here before. Starts asking me what medications I'm on, how long I've been on them, and then at one point she asked me, do you tuck? And I have been to a lot of doctors, you guys, in the past 12 years. I have never once had a doctor ask me that. I've had another nurse at that same center ask me if I bottom or if I top. And I don't particularly like being asked questions like that because it makes me, and this is gonna sound really weird, and this is probably the dysphoric part of myself, the, you know, gender dysphoria that kicks in, but to me, I'm like, I almost feel like a gay man, like they're trying to insinuate something. And I know that that's the language that is probably the correct language to use, I'm assuming, but I don't like that. So threw me off guard. But this woman asked me, do you tuck? And I asked her, well, how is this relevant? She's like, well, I just want to know if you have any testicular pain. And I'm like, well, if you would read my profile, or if you read my patient file, I had an orchiectomy, so I don't have testicles. But even so, like, I don't see how that's relevant. And she's like, well, I'm sorry. She said, I just have to treat you like you're a new patient. And then kind of continues to ask me very generalized questions after that. I think she saw that I was kind of like putting up a wall or whatever, because I've been to so many doctors and I just don't see how that's relevant, you know. And it's kind of annoying because even when Dr. John was there, he never asked me questions like that. He had my patient file, he went over it, he knew I had been on hormones on and off for, you know, the past 10 years. He knew that I had an orchiectomy, he knew that I had been suffering with depression and all of these different things. And I just feel like when a doctor picks up right where the last one left off, like, to me, that feels good to me, because it feels like I'm not just going into somebody that I don't know, some stranger who's just like, oh, well, I don't know, maybe that's me and I'm wrong. And I'm not saying that I'm correct in thinking that way, but it just makes me very uncomfortable. So she, after that, asked me the tucking question. She asked me, you know, other questions. She's like, well, you know, I'm going to prescribe you, you know, I'm going to give you a prescription for estradiol and progesterone again. She's like, and judging from, you know, just looking at you, it looks like the hormones are working well. Again, that rubbed me the wrong way, because I don't think that you can just by looking at somebody make the assumption that their hormones are balanced. She said that I didn't need to get my lab testing done for a few months, which mind you, I haven't had my labs done in a while, in like a year and a half. And the last time I saw Dr. John, he said, in your next appointment in July, we are going to get you labs because we need to make sure if you're at proper levels. Well, this woman, just by looking at me, tells me I don't need labs. It looks like you know, the hormones are working just fine. And I'm like, it's just, to me, I'm like, what if that's so unprofessional in my opinion. Like, how can you base that off of somebody and the way, and the just aesthetically, by the way that they look visually? Anyways, I'm already kind of upset by that. So I do tell her, hey, apart from taking the medication that you gave me for depression and anxiety, I would like to try something different. It gives me a lot of side effects. I would prefer something different. God damn, I never put my car in park, you guys. A little scary there, bitch. So anyways, I tell her, you know, that I do, you know, estradiol and progesterone is fine. I do want that prescription for that. But I tell her, like, I either want to supplement what I'm already taking with another medicine that I've taken in the past that works really well for me, or if you could just replace what I'm already taking with this other medicine. And mind you, I know my body very well. I'm the one who deals with it. I know all of this. I control all of this. So for a doctor to sit there and tell me what they think I should be taking, I do take that into consideration, very much so. But you guys, doctors are not God. And I've tried so many different things for depression and anxiety, and I know what works for me. I know what makes me feel good. I know what makes me function. I know what makes me feel like myself. So I'm going to make that suggestion. I asked her if she could prescribe me this medicine, and she said, well, usually I don't give my patients this particular medicine right off the bat. And I said, okay, but I've taken it before, and the medicine I'm currently taking gives me a lot of side effects. It gives me stomach issues, blah, 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 blah. So with that being said, she leaves the room for a while, comes back in, says, I'm going to give you a prescription for it. We can supplement it, meaning she's going to add it to the medicine I'm already taking. She's going to give me a low dose of it. And I said, great, that's amazing. Thank you so much. She said, I do recommend also, if you can, to see a therapist, for talk therapy or for whatever it may be. And I told her, I've really thought about doing that for quite a while. So I think that's a good idea. I might make an appointment with a therapist that you have here in your office in the future. What I did not know, you guys, is that she gave me a 7-day prescription for both medicines for depression and anxiety. So she gave me a month's prescription for my hormones and a 7-day prescription for my SSRI and my other medicine that she was going to give me. She gave me that medicine for 7 days under the assumption that I was going to make an appointment with the psychiatrist or behavioral therapist that she had in the office. But I was not aware that an appointment with that person was $300 and $180 for a follow-up. So she gave me the prescription under the assumption that I was going to come in the following week, spend $300 and get another prescription for, or a bigger dose or whatever of this medication. I immediately let her know, I'm like, I can't afford that. I don't have the money for that right now. It's a suggestion that you made that I am considering, but I can't do it right now. She said, well, you can take it or leave it, pretty much. And I had already ran out of my medication, mind you. I didn't want to have withdrawals, so I said, that's fine. Okay. I ended up calling back because I just did not see how I was going to make that work. And I talked to another nurse practitioner in the office, and I said, I can't afford that. It's too expensive. I was under the assumption that I was cheaper because that's what she had told me. And no, come to find out, it was $300. So the nurse practitioner said, well, let me see what I can do and I'll talk to her. Mind you, I'll talk to this other nurse practitioner to see if they can give you a longer prescription for a month at least. I said, cool. That would work better for me. In a month, I can make that work. I'm human. I have bills to pay. I have rent to pay. I have a lot of things going on. I can't just, throw $300, out the door just like that, that easy. So I don't hear back from them for a few days. My prescription was sent to that. Even the 7-day prescription and my hormones were sent to the wrong pharmacy, a very expensive pharmacy at that doesn't accept coupons. So I was like, I don't know what to do. I called back. It literally took me a week after that appointment to get a hold of anybody there. I call them and I'm like, I ran out of medication already. They sent it to the wrong pharmacy. She said, well, we're able to get you a month's prescription, so she's going to grant that. I said, okay, but I need it to be sent to the right pharmacy because I asked the pharmacy if they can send it over to like a Walmart and they couldn't. So So mind you, not only was my medication for only 7 days, it was at the wrong pharmacy. So now it's at the wrong pharmacy, but they gave it to me for a month. Well, it takes me another fucking week to get a hold of them to see if they can send it to the right pharmacy, because my pharmacy would not do it. They would not, for some reason, they would not send over my prescription. I don't know if that's legal. I don't know what that's about. It was a nightmare. I had ran out of my medication. Not only did I run out of estrogen, estradiol, but I ran out of my SSRI. I was having really bad withdrawals. It literally took 3.5 weeks, 3.5 weeks for anybody to get back to me and to move my prescription over. So they were able to call the pharmacy to see if they can move it to the, to the Walmart where I pick up my medicine. So not only, you guys, was it a nightmare just getting this appointment, not only was this person very unprofessional, but they literally did not get back to me. I could not get a hold of them. I had ran out of medication. I was begging them to, send it to the right pharmacy to give me a month's prescription. I feel like it was their fault. I feel like it was her fault for prescribing me a medicine for 7 days without telling me that it was under the guise of, dropping this $300 appointment to have somebody else prescribe it for longer. You know what I mean? It's not, I was out of medication for 3.5 weeks. I was having the worst fucking withdrawals mentally that I've ever had. I was a mess. I was calling my boyfriend crying, just like all over the place, having anxiety at work. It was a fucking nightmare. It was a nightmare, and I got really no help from them. When I called them to tell them that I wanted a month's prescription instead of 7 days, the lady's like, well, the nurse practitioner's only here for 2 days a week, and when she's here, she's very busy. She has a lot of patients. I'm like, well, yeah, but I'm a patient of hers as well, and it was just such a bad fucking, I will never go back there again. I won't. Maybe if they have another doctor there, I'll go back, but I will never ever go back to this place. And I'm not knocking them, because they do have a lot of resources for the LGBT community. That's great, that's amazing, but that's not to say that they won't hire people that aren't shitty, and I'm so tired of having to put trust in these doctors. And I always make excuses for doctors too, because I understand a lot of them aren't educated on trans people and trans care and how to approach, a trans person and their health care and whatnot. But at the same time, it's like, you signed up for this. I'm paying you for your services. And you shouldn't have to make me feel uncomfortable by asking me these intimate questions of whether I tuck or if I have balls or not, or whatever it may fucking be. I'm so tired of this shit. I'm so tired of going to doctors. They are not God. They have to have some respect, you guys. They have to be professional. And I'm just, after so many years, I'm tired of it. I'm like, I am not a teacher, and I'm not here to show you how to care for us. You should know this. You went to school for this. You charge the money for it. You charge us money to give us health care, to give us care, to give us our hormones, to give us this, to give us that. Don't sign up for a job that you cannot do with good bedside manner and professionalism. You know what I mean? Have some fucking respect. Because a lot of the time, I do feel like there's this like morbid curiosity that doctors often have with trans people. And I don't think that everything they ask or say is in good faith. So that was my experience with that doctor in my last video. When you guys saw that I went to go pick up my prescription, that was the problems that I was having. I literally had to go back to the Walmart 3 different times, because also she prescribed me the wrong medication, the wrong type of medication. She prescribed me what I had asked for, but an extended release version that was a lot more expensive. And funny enough, she asked me which one I wanted, and I told her specifically I don't want the extended release. Also, she asked me what pharmacy. I told her what pharmacy. She claimed to take the pharmacies off of my file, yet she still sent it to the wrong pharmacy. Never got a hold of her again. Could never speak to her again. She was only there 2 days a week, never would get an answer, never got a call back, never got anything. That was like the worst experience I've ever had going to a place for my hormones or my medicine, you guys. But anyways, I've learned my lesson. I will never go back there again. And yeah, but I hope you guys are all doing well. I will link my Instagram down below. I hope you guys follow me. I hope you guys are having a great week. Like this video. If you don't like this video, press the thumbs down button. I don't care, but I want you guys to be honest. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.